Hi everybody, Hellcracks here, and welcome to another episode of Thoughts from the Inner Sphere, episode 171. Yeah, today we're going to be talking about another mech, the Trebuchet, the tree bucket. Yeah, well, oh boy. Some great ideas with this one. They've thrown everything, including the kitchen sink, in it. Not a bad mech, except for one big problem, which we've always harped on. It has XL engines. Okay, let's just get into it. Well, it's a 50-tonner. It comes in around 1,300, 1,400 battle value. It's a 5.85, so hey, we got some improvements coming on here. We got some jump jets, which we never had before. Okay, so obviously they're using the extra tonnage you get from the XL engine to throw jump jets on. Okay, all right, that's an improvement. Is Indo Steel, okay. There, click, check. There's another 2.5 tons extra weight that you are throwing into equipment. Hey, just with Indo Steel, you can throw on the jump jets. So, hey, what's not to like about that? It has double heat sinks. It goes from the standard 10 it used to have, singles, to double heat sinks. So now it can dissipate 20 heat. So this mech, the only time it really has to worry about heat is if it fires everything and runs. Or jumps. You know, depends. Try and escape. Has 120 points of armor, which is still the same as the 5N, which was in the 39 book. So, yeah, well... that could have been improvement. Heck, if you're putting XL engines on, at least throw some armor on. Okay, where did they make some changes? Let's just delve into this thing. Alright, we got the LRM-15 in the right torso with a ton of ammo. Alright, no change there. Hey, we got case down the right torso, so hey, there's a bonus. We have a LRM-15 in the left arm with a ton of ammo in the left torso. And hey, we got case again. So, hey, they gave us some good extra equipment. I'm more than happy to spend an extra ton towards case to protect myself. But, you know, it's kind of just protecting the pilot. It's not really protecting the mech, because if the ammo goes off, it's a dead mech anyway. It carries around a narc beacon in the left torso with 2 tons of ammo. Alright. So they're expecting you to get really close into someone's face and fire away and hit them with the narc beacon so you can do long-range shooting with your LRMs. Yeah. Okay. Still has 2 medium lasers in the right arm, medium laser in the left arm, so yeah, that's a good deal. And obviously we got the jump jets in the left and right torso with 1 in the center torso. Okay. I see where they went with this. I like what they did with it, except for the one thing. Obviously with the XL engines, it's like, otherwise, if you didn't have XL in this and you showed me this whole prefla stuff on board, and it's like, hey, that's not too bad, except for the one big, actually 2 glaring things. XLs and narc beacon. Why do you put a narc beacon on a long-range shooting mech? This is a fire support mech. It's basically your flanking fire support mech. It's a 5.85, so yeah, it's not really a scout. Could fill in the void, but you know, it's going to get run down by other scouts, but so it can't really disengage too well. But it's a good flanker, so it can run around with other 5.8 moving mechs as a flanking force, give it some firepower, some fire support with its long-range LRMs, and after 8 turns, it's like, click, 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 the ammo bays are dry. Why didn't you give this thing more ammo for that thing? And then you give it a narc beacon so it can just help itself with the modifiers on the chart, but you have to get close to use it. So you're basically spending enough turns firing away. So by the time you get close enough to shoot the narc beacon, your ammo bays are probably halfway dry anyway. So you would have been better off giving it Artemis. on the 2 launchers and use the extra 3 tons for something else, like ammo, maybe another ton of ammo for the LRM, so you could fire 12 turns instead of 8, and maybe even put another medium laser on. And if you happen to have access to the wonderful thing called C3, you could put a slave on board. All because, you know, with the NARC beacon. Yeah, if you got something stuck with a XL engine and you have all this extra tonnage, make it so it survives a little longer. Because right now you're sitting at, it's what, right torso, you have 11, right and left torso. You got 11 armor. So if this thing gets hit by a clan PPC or a Gauss rifle from anybody, you're punching holes in, and you have a good chance of hitting ammo and blowing this thing off the face of the earth, which I've done many times with this version. You know, its life expectancy is pretty short. So the only thing that really keeps this thing going is movement. So you got to keep it going at least 7 hexes, or jumping 3, or jumping 5, I mean, so you get that 3 mod. So that's about the only thing. And then trying to stay in some wooded hex, or in its case, a lot of times if I did get stuck with this thing, I'm like, okay, this is a fire sport mech, but it's a flanker, so yeah, how am I going to use this? Alright, basically going to try to find as much cover and concealment as possible, hide behind a hill, use indirect, but eventually you can only do that for so long, and there's been quite a few games where it's like, okay, the ammo bay's dry. Do I disengage with it, leave the board, and get credit, give the team enemy for an enemy mech that disengaged, so they get points? Or do I go close with the 3 medium lasers and then get it nuked pretty quickly? Like, hey, it's coming out. All right, look at the guy with the XL engine. Shoot it, kill it. All right, move on to the next one. Rinse and repeat. So, not a good deal. So basically, first thing I'm ever going to do with this thing, if I ever got my hands on one as a mercenary company, I'm ripping the NARC beacon out, tear that thing out. There's 5 tons to play with. Throw in some couple tons of, at least 2 tons of armor on board. That leaves me 3 left over. Throw 1 into at least 1 more ton of ammo. You know, he's like, hey, it's got NARC ammo sitting here. I'm just going to replace the bay area with LRM ammo. So that leaves me 2 tons left. So I probably would, if I had access to a C3, I'd put a C3. That leaves me 1 ton. I'm putting another medium laser, so it has at least 4. So 4 medium lasers up close, that's not bad. You know, that's going to leave a mark on somebody pretty quick. That's some good damage. Or I'll take those 2 tons and put Artemis on board. So instead of a medium laser and C3, if I didn't have access to that, I'm putting Artemis on both the launchers. So even if I am, firing, you're direct firing, so you get those, like, I can see you. Here you go. Here's Artemis. I'm getting the benefit of the modifier on the cluster table instead of having to march up in somebody's face and hit them with a NARC beacon. NARC beacons are left to something that are on scouts, something's moving fast, or if you're an SRM boat. If you have a bunch of SRMs on your mech, okay, I can live with you putting a NARC beacon on. But you may be better off just throwing Artemis on, but they'll say, oh, ECM was like, well, yeah, ECM works on both of them, so it's the mute point. So, there you go. There's some arguments. Now, there is a bunch of different variants on this thing. Yeah, they're not really going to delve into everything. It's like if you start talking about every variant, you're going to go nuts. Okay, then it's like the original C, the Trebuchet 3C, consisted of 2 Artemis-equipped LRM-15s with case. Oh, that's with Indo steel and double heat sinks and extra light fusion. And that sounds just like what I'm talking about. So it's just 3C. All right, there you go. Okay, and then we have the 5J, which has one LRM-15 and the 5 jump jets. So obviously they drop an LRM-15 for jump jets. Okay, that's a good one. I can live with that. That's the Succession War one. Let's delve down here a little farther. Let's find one that, okay, we talked about the 7M. Then we got the 8 Bravo. This one came out in 3071 using the XL engine still. Jump jets. It replaces the LRMs with MML5s. And supplemented with 4 ER medium lasers and 13 double heat sinks. Okay, and still uses the Indo Steel. I'm not sure if that's an improvement or not with MMLs. Your mileage may vary on those things. Then we have the 9K, which is the refit of the 7M. Okay, let's see. Still has Indo Steel, has the XL engines, has 2 MRM-20 launchers with 3 tons of ammo. Here, finally, they put an extra ton of ammo on board. Medium lasers and the Rhino replaced with 2 medium pulse lasers, and then the C3 Slave. There we go. And it has a jump jet, so obviously it's like don't need the narc beacon. So obviously somebody's like, hey, this is kind of stupid putting a narc beacon on something that rather shoot things at long range. Okay, then there's we'll skip the 9R, which is the era that shall not be named. Okay, then we have the XK7 variant. It uses 10 double heat sinks, XL engines, several experimental chain whip. Okay, it's like, okay, this thing's turned into a melee weapon. Has a pair of Streak 6s. Okay, I like Streak 6s, especially if you get in close. Now, it's like that would be a good. If you looked at the Trebuchet and you wanted to replace the narc beacon and it's a little bit later, you could throw a Streak 6 on board. That would give it some close-in support with a bunch of pepper shots. It has an ER medium laser, it has a flamer and a medium pulse laser, and armor. Okay, and a shield. So it basically turned it into like a gladiator. And then we got the K7R, this variant refitted. Okay. Removes the standard weapons and engines and skeleton, replaced with a light Indo engine and Indo skeleton. Okay, so we got a light fusion engine. So there's kind of an improvement. If I had to put a fusion engine in, I'd rather have the light fusion engine, get a little bit of tonnage without having the 3 crit slots parked there, so it's an instant kill. At least you're kind of acting up like sort of like the clans. Has a pair of ER medium lasers, a pair of flamers, and a Streak 6, and still carries a chain, and has triple strength armor. So yeah, if you can't heat this thing up with the triple strength and the melee weapon, yeah, you're going to be punching some holes in somebody. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's the variants on board I want to talk about. So, what do you want to do with it? Well, like I said, I already basically discussed what I would change if I was stuck with a version like this. Now, if you by chance had a 5N, biggest change I would do if you had the older version that was upgrade to double heat sinks, give it the ferrofibrous armor to increase its armor, and then just try to live with what you have there. You know, obviously you're going to be running low on ammo pretty quickly, but at least you know you got a little bit more armor on board. It's not much, but it's a improvement over what you had before. So there's not much different that you can change on this thing other than the first thing I'm going to do is just rip out that narc beacon and use that tonnage for improving it in armor and long range ability on the cluster table, or throw a C3 system on if you have access to one. So that's it. That's pretty much it. So if you do have the 7M, you got to shepherd this thing. It doesn't have a lot of armor on board. Keep it moving, or if you can park it behind some terrain and use it until the ammo bays are dry. Now, you can use it in direct fire if you can find yourself in some heavy wood someplace. Park it so your modifiers are not that bad for you to be shot at. But just know that, you know, if you can hit somebody, they can hit you back. But in a lot of cases, I've found that individuals would prefer, if you have a 2 modifier and then you got somebody that's up close, medium range, or short range that has the same modifier, they're going to shoot the guy that's at short range because they want the best shot profile as possible most of the time. Now, you get some clanners out there that will look at you and go, huh, you look like a juicy target. And they may decide to try to punch some holes in you, especially if you got somebody that has a Masakari with the pulse lasers and the target imputer. They may decide to fill you full of holes and try to take you out pretty quickly. So, you got to watch what it is. Situational dictates, but, you know, you move, shoot, and communicate. That's the way it goes. All right, that's the Trebuchet. Not bad, not great. It's sort of a hot mess in a way, but it can be sort of changed to make it a little better. All right, there you go. Hope you guys like it. Like and subscribe, share with all your friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Hellcrex out.